Hey guys, Artosis here with another game from the CasterMuse Narak Star League. In the top left of Polaris Rhapsody, we have a stork. And in the bottom right, his opponent, yabsab. Well, stork, I mean, you guys already know stork. He is one of the greatest of all time. Such a strong Protoss. Cannot wait to see what he has in store for his opponent, yabsab. Of course, highly respected. Still up and coming, starting to have some good tournament success, playing in everything. Really thrilled to have him here against Stork to really test his mettle. Now, the map is Polaris Rhapsody. This is a two-player map, right? You have your natural here, and obviously you know where your opponent is, so that does change the flow of the map a little bit. For instance, you scout your opponent right away if you need to, right? So this could be a situation where Stork wants to go for a fastest nexus or something like that. But Polaris Rhapsody, in particular, the third base can be a little bit tricky. There's a mineral base over here, and then there's a gas base up here that's actually takes a long time to walk to. And then the corners both have double geyser expansions that are very easy to attack. So when you take all of that into consideration, the map plays out really differently than most two-player maps. Like, for instance, it is nothing like Eclipse. Now, Stork has gone for the fast forge, sending his probe out now, and yabsab has gone pool first. So anything like a cannon rush will not end up happening here from Stork. He may have had that idea in the books, but obviously when he gets down and sees the hatchery not yet started, there is absolutely no reason. Now notice he's hiding this drone to the side. He does not want the probe to come up and block. So as the probe goes into the main base and the Overlord sees that, he can come up and throw that hatchery down. Stork comes in, sees, oh, the pool is not done. He was hiding a drone, turns around, sees the hatchery started. The basic to and fro's of a PVZ. You know, when you don't see the hatchery, you have to check immediately to see if it's like a 9 pool speed type of thing, or even an earlier pool. That's why the probe runs up, and then, of course, the drone can make the hatchery. Now, 6 lings on the way. Nexus already here for Stork, but he'll be able to get some cannons up well in advance of the Zerglings getting there. And let's see if he can just keep this probe alive and at high health. Now, no gas taken yet. It looks like yabsab just going to run by the probe, only leaving one Zergling to chase it around and make sure that Stork is, microing it, making sure it stays alive. This first cannon, of course, over halfway done. It's going to be finishing up before those lings get there. Gateway coming down. Very solid wall as well. And now we just kind of wait to see how this is gonna end up looking, right? Like the lings will run up, they'll see the cannon. You notice the second pylon is here, so the probe can kind of block them from trying to run by. It's all good. No real damage should occur at this point. A second probe comes out, just playing very, very carefully here. Stork doesn't want anything silly to happen to him. Now, looking over on this side, gas being mined by yabsab. His natural has hatched. But look at this, the third base location. As I said, we have a gas here and a gas here. They're both half geysers, but it will bring up your overall gas mine by quite a bit. So, kind of an interesting base to take. It's so far away from the others that any sort of zealot pressure could be very strong. But of course, since it's a forge expansion, you don't really have any zealots out right now. If this was a gateway expand, I don't think yabsab would have gone for an expansion over there as his third base. Now, Lair is on the way. This probe's still alive and healthy as well. Hasn't taken any hull damage as of yet. We'll see if that changes as all the lings come back to try to chase it. Yeah, it takes a little bit right there, but does get out for the time being at least. And of course, he did see the Lair timing, so he knows that, for instance, there is no massive Hydralisk all-in or anything like that coming. Now, Stork taking a look. Yeah, the Cybernetics core is done. Stargate starting up. All very standard stuff. Making some Zealots here as well. This one Zealot going down the side. Notice the probe comes around this side and it checks out if this is where the third base was, as it does not find it. The Zealot probably pretty sure that he's going to find it up here. This does happen sometimes, as Zergs like to take this base. But of course, this is so far away from everything, it can be a little bit hard to defend. Now, the lings are way out on the side of the map. It looks like they find a Zealot and will chase that, but he's going to have to deal with this. Okay, yeah, 4 lings pop out, so that is enough to kill a single Zealot. And the Zealot going to be pulled back and microed as heavily as it can, as is this one. Which Zealot is going to live longer? Well, this one up here. The other one gets surrounded. Not that much damage to the hatchery. And now taking a look at yabsab's base, does have that spire in the way. It looks like a pretty standard opener, to be honest, from both sides, right? We have Corsairs on the way. We have +1 on the way. It was a Forge expand. A little bit more old school, but I think that's because Stork was ready either for a rush or to possibly cannon rush. But yeah, everything looking pretty normal. Now, for yabsab, what we have to wonder is, will he be making Scourge here? Or will he be going for Mutalisks? I think it's going to be Scourge. That's generally the most normal play, is you make like 4 Scourge, you chase away Corsairs, you go into 5 or 6 Hatch Hydra. But he's got this base really far away from everything else. It provides a ton of gas. There is the possibility that he goes for Mutalisks this game. You don't actually need 4 Geysers to go Hydra, believe it or not. They're not that expensive as far as gas goes. So yeah, just the fact that he took this makes me wonder about it. But we see 4 Scourge in production now. Some additional Overlords as well. Yeah, looks like the Corsair might end up getting 1 more before it gets out of here. The Scourge going to be popping in a second, though. Oh, and yeah, I mean, is he going to lose this? The Scourge actually just start flying across the map. These might be for a flank, like to catch it flying up. Now, the second Corsair got a kill here. 2 Overlords have died, so very annoying. Stork has done a great job with those Corsairs thus far. Gonna fly over this base and find 2 more macro hatches being made. And what else? A Hydralisk Den. There we go. And here is another hatch as well. So we are going up to 6 Hatch Hydra, it looks like. The Scourge do end up catching the 1 Corsair coming back. The other one did make it home. As you can see, 3 Corsairs sitting over a cannon. So no real damage going to come to Stork here. Of course, the Scourge want to come up and do a little scout. They see the Templar Archives on the way. They see the Citadel already done, the second gateway. They basically scout everything in the whole wide world. So yabsab has full information on what Stork is doing. But honestly, Stork pretty much has that as well. Now, moving out with some of these Zealots. 5 moving down the map along with these Corsairs. Let's take a look what we have down here. A single creep colony is on the way. The Lings following them in. Not many units out on the map right now here for yabsab, though. This is making me a little bit nervous, but the Zealots kind of went in the wrong direction. They didn't go down this ramp. They went into the high ground area. So looks like they're going to turn around for now. I'm not really sure what this unit movement is meaning here from Stork. Feels a little bit haphazard. Now the Corsairs still being massed. A lot of gates being added on. Definitely a map where I see a lot of 8-gate play in Protoss versus Zerg. That third base, you know, it can be hard to take for Zerg, but just as hard, or if not harder, for Protoss to end up securing. So a lot of times, Protoss players opt to make a lot of units before they expand and really keep that pressure on their opponents. Now, walking down so many Scourge actually out on the map right now. +1 is done for these Zealots, so the Zerglings get absolutely shredded. The Evolution Chamber in the way, and he actually targets this. Gonna pop that oh so quickly, and now getting on top of some of these drones. The Sunken getting a lot of pot shots. The Hydra's behind as well. It looks like he should hold this without too much damage, to be honest. He's lost Zerglings, he lost a building. Maybe he'll lose the Sunken at the end of the day, but really not all that much. A very solid hold here from yabsab. Unfortunately, does lose some Overlords to the 6+1 Corsairs. So Stork still getting a bit of damage, but yabsab totally fine. Still has a very healthy drone count. As you can see, 36 drones. Really good. Look at this. Pops up to 42. Even has 3 more on the way. So he's actually going to pretty much equal the economy here of Stork. As far as like worker count. But he's got the 3 bases, so it's a much better spread. His income is going to be higher. Now, that being said, that doesn't just mean it's an automatic win. He's made a lot of drones. He's going for Hydras, sure, and Hydras are very microbulled. They're very strong against Protoss, but Stork is going up to quite a few gateways. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's those 8 gateways that we were talking about before. He has Psystorm almost halfway done, so he's going to basically be fielding the largest army that you can get on 2 bases. Tons of Zealots, tons of High Templars, might even end up going into Dragoons in there. That's kind of a popular play at the moment. And in fact, a little attack going on down here while we're watching that macro. The Corsairs fly down. All these units will end up being picked off, but the Corsairs going to be able to supply block yabsab pretty heavily during all of this. Additional Zealots coming down, but of course he can block those 56 of 54 supply right now for yabsab. So annoying to have to deal with for a Zerg player. Just constantly losing overlords all over the place. Look at this. The Corsairs coming in for another pass. One Zealot left over down there. And yeah, that is painful right there. A couple more overlords. yabsab stuck at 62. A ton more overlords actually pop out. Look at this. 6 overlords in this area, but luckily for him, Stork goes in the wrong direction. He's going to be looking for overlords over here, and he will find some, but enough Hydras, I think, to make this painful if they want to kill anymore. Corsairs going to reroute. In the meantime, a lot of Zealots running down. He does have that +1 armor now as well, adding a lot of survivability against the Hydras. Taking a look up here, a lot of High Templars starting to bank their energy. So already he's up to 5 storms, looking to go up to 10. We have range for those Dragoons on the way, and you can see he's producing 7 Dragoons at a time right now. So yeah, kind of following that modern trend of getting a bunch of Dragoons out with his army, +2 armor on the way as well. Another very popular move from Protoss players in this matchup. But the Hydra count is getting pretty high as well. Right? He's not actually down that much army supply. He's down 30 army supply right now, approximately. But don't forget, Hydras are 1 supply, and all the Protoss ground units are 2 supply. So it's not as big of a difference as you would think. He has a lot of Hydras right now. Of course, Psystorm going to be the weapon of choice from Stork against that. But right now, just still roaming with these Zealots, running into this huge amount of Hydras. The Lurkers get out, and they will burrow. And, I mean, he's just got to pull these Hydras back a little bit to make sure he can hold on here. Those Lurker Spines really doing massive AoE damage here to the Zealots, which do have to run away. In the meantime, some more Overlords do get popped. I wonder, how many kills does he actually have on these things? 4, 3, 7? My God, just so many Overlords have fallen this game. But yabsab finally moving out across the map. Stork trying to take a new base here. This is a mineral-only base, but definitely worthwhile. If you can take this, then that's kind of the bridge to securing this base with 2 gases. But as he comes up, the Zealots come and see exactly what's happening. So the Dragoon's going to add some damage here. As the Hydra Lurker comes over, there are a lot of storms. Remember, he's been banking up energy on these for a long time. So he has 10 Psy Storms, a couple cannons, a lot of Dragoons, some more Zealots being added in as well. This army cannot do anything against this position right now, but yabsab is macroing very heavily right now. Don't forget, he's got a very awesome drone count, so his economy is really strong. It's just he keeps getting supply blocked. Look at that. It's like he's in red supply half the time at least. Finally popping up above that 82 of 94 right now. Mass Lurker being made, but maybe at the wrong time. Has to cancel that. Moves forward. Ooh, the storm's starting to come down right now. Targeting what he can. Going after the Observer, but the storms are ridiculous from Stork. Oh my God. Just so painful right there. And Stork takes his high ground with ease. Stork right now really giving us a clinic on how to play PvZ. Looking so strong. Now, mass Lurkers are being made, but don't forget, Stork has a lot of Dragoons and is continuing to add them. And Dragoons definitely fare reasonably well against Lurkers if they're not shooting uphill. So any flat, like equal terrain type situations, it feels like Stork should be able to break through yabsab's units. The Dragoon's starting to walk out. Has some observers with them as well. Of course, takes a lot of hits for a Dragoon to kill a Scourge. 3 Dragoon hits, believe it or not. Corsairs pushing back yet another Overlord. Another supply block there. 102 of 102 for yabsab. But again, don't forget, you know, it's a lot more supply efficient for Zerg. So he still has a strong army. Now, here we go. Stork coming in. Massive Dragoon army. A lot of these are clumped up Lurkers. The Psy Storm's going down and dealing some massive damage here. See a lot of these Lurkers getting so low. Even if he didn't have observers, the Storms are clearing everything. And GG, Stork manhandles yabsab.